Hey, what's up? I'm Dallas Wade, and tonight I am going to start my journey down the road of witchcraft. Tonight's the night that I become a witch, or at least start the process of becoming a witch. So I recently started going through reading this book, I don't know if you can see it, called Magical Herbalism: The Secret Craft of the Wise. It's from Cunningham. My mom used to have this book, and I was always interested in it, but I never did anything with it. So recently I ordered a copy of my own, and I've been planning on going through it. So it's there's a whole process. There's a step-by-step system. You can't just pick up this book and start making spells and potions and things like that. First, you have to create your magic tools to make those magic potions. And the very first step to that is creating not your magic wand, which is what I would have expected, but instead your magical knife. You have to make a magic knife that you'll use to cut up your herbs and things like that. And also, you have to have the magical knife first to then use the magical knife to create the magic wand. So the first step in the book is creating a magic knife, and so that's what I'm going to be doing tonight. So in order to make the magic knife, you have to do it on a full moon. So right now I'm recording this video September 20th of 2021 because it's the first full moon before October. It's the harvest moon, actually. I don't know if you can see my phone or not. I have the Starwalk 2 app, which I use all the time. It is a freaking awesome app. I'm not sponsored by them, but it's a great app. It costs a few bucks, but it keeps you updated with everything. So tonight is the harvest moon. It's the first full moon before October, so this is the night that I have to make my magic knife. So I'm pretty excited to do that. I'm really excited to become a witch. So let's go get started. According to the book, in order to make a magical knife, you first need a knife. But it can't just be any knife. It needs to be a knife with a steel blade and a wooden handle. And it needs to fit comfortably in your hand. Also, when you're choosing your knife, keep in mind that it's mostly going to be used for harvesting and cutting herbs. Chances are you aren't going to be fighting off any bears with it, so you probably don't want a giant hunting knife. Also, the book says that when you buy your knife, don't haggle over the price. I don't know why, but it says that. The book also recommends buying a new knife, which I didn't buy a new one. I bought a really cool looking vintage knife. I liked the way that it looked. The steel was rusted over when I got it, but I cleaned it up the best I could, and now it's pretty shiny and it's very sharp. Once you have your knife, wrap it up in a cotton or linen white cloth and then hide it away where it will not be disturbed until the next full moon. I put my knife in a box and then hid it under my work desk, and I let it sit there for one night, the night before the full moon. On the night of the full moon, just after sunset, go find a lonely rural place out in the countryside, ideally where there will be a spring nearby. Clear out the spot if you need to and gather some sticks and kindling to build a fire with. If you can't find a spring, then bring a silver bowl and some fresh water. And if you don't have access to a rural countryside, you can do this in the comfort of your home. But if that is the case, then you will need to get a flower pot or some sort of a vessel and fill it up with soil. And if you can't build a fire, you can just use a candle. I live out in a very rural area, so it was very easy for me to find everything I needed, except for a spring. I could not find a spring. The only water sources I could find nearby were a few ponds, and the water in those ponds is not at all fresh. So I brought a silver bowl and a jug of spring water from the grocery store. Once you've gathered all of the necessities and you've brought them to your location, you can begin the ritual. The first step of this ritual is enchanting your knife with the powers of the earth. To do this, make sure you are facing north and then bury your knife into the dirt, up to the handle, and then say these words or something similar. I conjure thee, O knife of steel, by the powers of the earth, that thou shalt be of service to me in the magical art of herbalism. Now grip the knife with your strong hand and pull it out of the dirt. The next step of this ritual is enchanting your knife with the powers of the winds. To do this, while facing east, hold your knife up as high as you can towards the sky and say these words or something similar.
I conjure thee, O knife of steel, by the powers of the winds, that thou shalt be of service to me in the magical arts of herbalism.
The next step is enchanting your knife with the powers of the fire. To do this, build your fire or light your candle, and while facing south, put the blade of your knife into the flames and say these words or something similar.
I conjure thee, O knife of steel, by the powers of the fire, that thou shalt be of service to me in the magical art of herbalism.
The final step of this ritual is enchanting your knife with the powers of the water. To do this, walk over to the stream or your bowl of water, and while facing west, dip the blade of your knife into the water and say these words or something similar.
I conjure thee, O knife of steel, by the powers of the waters, that thou shalt be of service to me in the magical arts of herbalism.
Once you're done, wrap the knife in a white cloth once again and then go put out your fire, and now you can return home. Keep the knife hidden away safely until you need to use it. This is your new magical knife. It will be used to cut herbs and flowers and all of the ingredients you need to craft your magic spells and potions. So take care of it, keep it sharp, and keep it shiny. Your knife now possesses magical qualities. And now we are back and we have a magic knife now. Let me just unwrap it. That was pretty crazy. It was raining outside, of course. It always seems to do that. And here it is. I don't know if you can see it. This is now a magic knife. This is no ordinary knife. This is a magic knife. Pretty cool, I guess. It's kind of anticlimactic after going through all of that. You know, now I just have a knife. But later on in this Becoming a Witch series, I will get to use this knife to next week craft my magic wand, which I'm very excited about. And then after that, I will be crafting magic spells and potions and things like that. And I'll be using this magical knife to cut up all of the herbs and ingredients for those things. I'm excited about it. Tonight was crazy. I don't know if you saw it on camera or not, but it was raining outside, like not heavy, but just like drizzling the entire time. So that was that went about, I guess, as well as I should have expected, but everything worked out. But I did get drenched out there in the rain. I was out there for a good while, you know, finding a good location and then getting everything carried out there. I didn't show it on camera, but I had to make like several trips out to that location. I had to carry a jug of water, all my bowl, the knife, the camera. I even brought a light out there just so I could see what I was doing. I was using my other camera that has night vision on it, but that wasn't helping me out any when it was sitting on the tripod. But anyway, that was fun. That was a lot of fun. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you are looking forward to my Becoming a Witch series, and maybe you can follow along with me. There's another full moon in October, so maybe just a couple weeks after this video is released, you can get started and catch up to me before the end of October and follow along making all of these magic spells and magic wands and things like that. And we can become a witch together. And maybe we'll tap into some magic stuff. Who knows? But thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. Also subscribe and activate that little bell icon if you haven't already. Go follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook if you'd like to keep up with me behind the scenes. And if you'd like to help support what I do, you can pledge to my Patreon or leave me a tip on Cashapp. Links and information for all of that stuff is in the description down below. Thank you for all of your support, and I'll see you in the next worship service.